The narrative over the last 4 months has been very negative. Businesses dying, businesses closing, the world's going under. Who knows what the heck's going to happen?
Yeah.
However, there is a significant amount of businesses that have grown during these times, have grown during a pandemic, and yours is one of them. You talked about hiring new people during this. So I guess the two-part question, how does the world, which is such a loose term, but like how does an individual realize that, hey, like it's not everyone that everyone's talking about or that narrative is talking about? And then how do you as a business decide, hey, like we're going to jump on this risk because we're going to jump on the growth bandwagon right now because we think that we can. Where just because over here says we can't doesn't mean that we have to abide by that.
Sure. Yeah. Look, certainly some businesses are very drastically affected, right? So if you own a hotel, a restaurant, like you've gone through bad times, no doubt about it. And so there's definitely a very, very real element to some of those stories. But we also have to, I try to remember that, and the media has a job to do, and they're trying to get eyeballs. And a lot of times these stories get hyper focused into one segment, whereas the entire story is maybe a little bit different, which I think is what you're kind of alluding to. There's certainly pockets where people have been hurt and hurt bad. There's also pockets where people have experienced just the opposite. We have 70 clients right now, and we notice very clear patterns with a lot of our different clients in different industries. Some were suffering, like retail. Retail got hit really hard, really quickly. Others were booming. So like we have a telecommunications client that we work with, and they sell bulk like iPads and iPhones to businesses. All of a sudden they were like, they couldn't keep up with the orders because everyone was going remote. There's opportunities wherever you look for them if you're looking. So again, it's question everything. Like if you're in a particular industry that in this case with COVID that's been hit hard, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to say, oh well, or are you going to try to pivot a little bit, right? Some cases you don't have a choice but to say, oh well. But in a lot of cases you have a choice. Like it's just like we've been saying this whole time, question everything. It's your future, whether it's a proposal or what you do with your company. And if you don't decide, you've explicitly made a choice. Like you're just going to ride it out and hope for the best. Yes, we have grown. The first 3 days of COVID, again, I know the date because it's like I should get it tattooed on my arm because I say it all the time. March 16th. First day I was in shock. It was like shock and awe. And then the second day I was doom and gloom. And then by the third day I was coming out of my funk, and we decided that we were going to go into action. We were going to start taking action. And Kevin and I came up with a plan. A battle plan really was what it was. A little bit of defense, which was, cost cutting of stuff that didn't matter. But most of it was offense. We're going to triple down on our marketing. So like if you thought you heard of Array Digital before, or you thought, you've seen Erik J Olson running around, you ain't seen nothing yet. So we went on full blast, and we actively went after clients. Like we just weren't going to sit around and wait for something to happen.
No, that's awesome. And that's the attitude that you have to take. I mean, I would love to know if there's a direct correlation in terms of optimism or pessimism based on the amount of media that we intake. And I can't help it that people that watch the news cycle after cycle after cycle, that is just fear, if they just naturally have that pessimistic view.
Yeah. You know what I did a while ago was in Sirius XM, there are news stations, right? And I had on one button CNN, the other one was Fox News, and the other one was NPR. And I would listen, 5 minutes each, and then I would actively I would want to change the station so I could listen to the news stories as relayed by these other media outlets. And for me, it was enlightening. Like some of them were just straight up reporting the news. Like it seemed factual, very factual. Others most of them were taking a position, or in some cases were activists, like literally telling their audience what they should think or do about a particular topic. And that seemed kind of crazy to me. So if you consume a lot of news, I would highly suggest consuming lots of different sources. And if you're right leaning, consume left, right? And you'll hear the same story, or if you don't hear this, like sometimes I would hear a story on CNN talking about how Trump is terrible, just throwing that out there, because of this thing that happened yesterday. And then I'd listen to Fox News and it wasn't even a story. Like they didn't even mention it. So even the lack of news sometimes can be telling.
Well, and I think if you're constantly consuming negative things, political, corona, whatever aside, you are probably giving yourself a self-fulfilling prophecy of being more negative. So if you think of the 5 people around you mindset, and you're consuming one of those 5 things, or a couple of those 5 things are outlets of things that are communicating with you. And it's just not the media, by the way. It's not just the media. It's the media. It's people posting things on Facebook, people posting things on Twitter. It's everything. It's conversations like this. It's behind closed doors. It's conversations on the phone. It's everything. And if you continue to surround yourself with negative things, negative material, you likely will become negative towards that information. And then it's up to you. You dictate your own terms. Do you want to consume that or not? And so if you don't want to consume that, you have to put up a wall and stop consuming it. Stop talking to those individuals. If you don't like what that person is saying, simply stop calling them. Stop consuming it. And I think that's extremely important. I used to consume a lot of crap, and then I realized, hey, there's a lot of crap. I got to remove this.
Yeah, but you question it, right? So the key is just questioning, right? Like, why am I so consumed with
question everything, but then do something about it, right?
Well,
like
and I think that the world is starving for leadership right now. So to have the courage to be the anomaly, if you will, and lead, you'd be surprised at the outcome.
I agree. It's like we talked about writing the book. Like everyone thinks, like, who am I to take this stance or do this project? Or a lot of the stuff that we talked about today comes back to who am I, right? Who am I to question Net 30 if that's what the business world does? Who am I to write a book about my experience? Who am I to make a statement about human rights? Like, well, it's individual leadership. It's exactly what you're talking about, Tim. Like you are the person that should be questioning it, not you, Tim, but like everyone who's watching, like, yeah, you should be questioning these things, and you set the tone for your own life.
And you are Erik J. Olson coming at you. Bam. Where can people find more information about the man, the myth, not the legend, Erik J. Olson?
I'm not a legend yet. Oh man.
No, I'm going to question that one. Yes, absolutely.
So I hang out on social media. My handle everywhere is I am Erik J. Olson. So that's Erik with a K, E-R-I-K, the letter J with a J, and Olson is O-L-S-O-N. I'm most active on Twitter, but I'm everywhere. And then my company is Array Digital. If you want to find out about what we do, you can go to thisisarray.com.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Any closing thoughts?
I love the live format. I think it's great. Just to throw it out there, we do a similar thing called Lunchtime Live. If you go to thisisarray.live, you can sign up for a text message reminder, and we'll send you the link every Friday at noon of the Facebook Live that you can click on and then watch me or Kevin or someone interviewing some influential people.
And by the way, Kevin is not just an alter ego of his, it's his business partner at Array Digital. I should have said that about an hour ago. Sorry. Because they're like, who's Kevin?
This guy Kevin keeps coming up.
Is Kevin the male equivalent of Karen?
I don't even know how to answer that. I think I should just say pass.
I should have said that. I don't know why. That was ridiculous. All right. Not that Kevin, just the name Kevin in general. Is there a male name version of Karen?
That's a great question. I'm not qualified to answer it.
Got it. All right. Appreciate you being here today, Erik J. Olson. Tim, closing thoughts?
Another great show. I don't know how do we keep on stringing all these together? It's awesome.
That's because you guys are good. That's why. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You heard it.
Sweet. You guys, see you guys next Thursday, 11 o'clock. Thanks for listening. Until next time, peace and pancakes.